So you can splice it and
It's
get it.
on.
So here we have a patient of mine, Rich Smith, who's coming in with a shoulder problem. Is that correct?
My left arm
And
is injured. I have a trick arm from football.
I can see your elbow is not linear very much, and you got a shoulder that's giving you problems right now. Does it feel weaker, or what's?
Well, what happened is I moved the door like this, and it hurt. I got a pain right down the arm, just like this, into my fingers.
So he may have some weakness in his shunt muscles, which are the back muscles, not supporting this. So we're going to do some muscle testing and do some checks on him. So we'll have him sit down to start out with. You just put your legs right over here. And I'm going to have you raise your arm up for me. And we're going to test just the deltoid muscle first, and that's not working very well. And we're going to come over here and test the deltoid. So these are shunt muscles, and when you're sitting, they're not being supported. If we lay down and test some of these, they may test strong. Hold this like this, and I'm going to push down.
Okay.
Now we'll have the patient lie down. You leave mine. Now he's laying down, we'll test the same muscles, and they may test strong though. So if you test the patient when he's just lying down, you don't really get true information from him. Now we're going to have him sit with his feet out back over here. And a good way to demonstrate this is with a tuning fork, because tuning forks vibrate and send messages up into the cerebellum, which increases extensor muscle control. So we're just going to challenge this. So we're sending a message up through the cuneo-cerebellar tract up to the cerebellum here, which is going to activate it and make his muscles work better. You can see when he sits, he actually has some rounding to his shoulders also. Part of that reason is he has his PhD and he spent a lot of time looking at books, sitting in libraries, hunched over computers, which was not the healthiest situation, but at least he has his PhD. So we just activate this a couple of times. Then we'll come back up, and some people go, well, you're not pushing as hard, but now I can push down and he can hold it. Does that feel like you got some more strength in there now? But because of that, it causes the flexors in the front of his shoulder to get tight, and that'll cause his bicep tendon to slip, so he gets real sore in here. So if you hold his arm like this and turn it like this, he'll have no strength. And now if we lay him down, that will actually show weakness too, because that's the flexor muscles. That's different than what we were acting with the tuning fork. Hold this up. Some of that's weak. So we're going to come in here and reset his biceps tendon. The bicep tendon is actually supported by two extensor muscles, the supraspinatus and the infraspinatus. So we come in here, roll on the inside of it, and then we just set it back, and it just tickles a little bit. We just activate it a little bit here and stretch it. And now when we come back and test, we can hold it because that tendon is now back in the groove. But in order for this to hold, he's got to increase extensor muscle strength, which we do through balancing exercises and so forth. There can also be a neck component to it. So if we hold his thumb down like this, hold, tuck your chin into here, and that weakens him. That's called a monosynaptic reflex, which will reflex up into here. And when he tucks his neck down, if the neck is not balanced, it will cause weakness in his arm. So we're going to fix that right now. So I'm just going to find out the exact spot we need to turn the switch on here. And we're going to make a very easy correction on his neck here. Let everything rock and roll. All done? Now we'll come back. Hold your thumb down. Tuck your chin back into it. Now that's working better. Cool. So now when he goes to move his arm around, let's say if you sit back up, we'll actually have better range of motion with that, and it won't hurt quite as much.
Oh, yeah.
Move back up. Do this. So now you can move it better.
Cool.
So that's something very simple to show a problem that's happening, but it's not just that. It's other factors that created this. Because of an imbalance somewhere else, it created the problem that you were experiencing.